turning to these hearings tomorrow night, which, as you know, are a big deal, there was this insurrection, this violent attack on the Capitol by Trump fans. I want to play just a little bit of what we saw that day as we go into these hearings. Here's what it looked like. Was it wrong for those Trump fans to do all that? Was it an insurrection? And knowing what we know now, if the purpose is to go forward, should Trump and those other people who sent them down to the Capitol have acted differently?
Well, first things first, I was on the floor that day. It was a tragedy for the nation. Nobody is allowed to breach a federal building. And I mean nobody. Doesn't matter what side of politics you're on. And I've been crystal clear on that from day one, from that very day. Number two, and more importantly, is this. One of the things that this January 6th committee, whether they are found it out or they've leaked it to the media, I don't know. But we found out in the Oversight Committee was that Donald Trump authorized 10,000 National Guard troops to be at the Capitol on January 6th. He authorized those troops on January 4th. The real question is, what did Nancy Pelosi know about these troops, and what did Muriel Bowser, the mayor of D.C., do with the National Guard troops that were in D.C. on the 6th? I can tell you right now, they weren't at the Capitol. That's still a question that House Republicans have with respect to the January 6th investigation.
Was it an insurrection?
Was it an insurrection? No, because look, the reality is people came into the Capitol, they tried to stop an official proceeding. We continued our business 4 hours later that day, and then the peaceful transition of power continued. I think if you're going to go towards the level of insurrection or sedition, that's actually a finding the Department of Justice needs to have through a thorough investigation. What I see coming from the January 6th committee just seems to be more politics, more leaking, because, to be frank, the Democrat agenda has failed Americans all across the country, and they know it.
Well, the sedition part, as you say, that is federal law. We could put that up. The leaders that Donald Trump name-checked, including the Proud Boys, are currently awaiting trial. They're legally presumed innocent. But that's the conspiracy to overthrow the government. There's a sedition set of trials there, and there is evidence on that. As for the insurrection, I mean, Mitch McConnell himself declared an insurrection that night. Other people that I know are leaders in your party have done so. And so before I lose you, because it feels like this has moved, and I appreciate you coming on the show to talk about it. It feels like the party has sort of changed its position. Here's what we were hearing around the 6th about how bad this was.
Tension is too high. The country is too crazy. I do not want to look back and think we caused something or we missed something and someone got hurt.
This is hurting all of us. He is destroying his legacy, Laura Ingraham wrote. He's got to condemn this ASAP, Donald Trump Jr. texted.
Chaos, anarchy. The violence today was wrong and un-American.
We will not be kept out of this chamber by thugs, mobs, or threats.
So, Congressman, I don't mean to make the last question potentially the hardest, but really, when it's all out in the open like that, who do you agree with? Do you agree with McConnell and Rand Paul and some of those Fox people and the president's son, what they said then? Or do you agree with them now? Because you said let's deal in facts. They've obviously completely reversed themselves.
Listen, with the audio you just played, everybody condemned the violence on that day when it happened, and we still condemn it today. Like I said, you are not allowed to breach a federal building. If you do, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Many people are being prosecuted. There are some questions about the detainees and their constitutional rights with respect to speedy trial, but the reality is that it was heinous for our country, and it should never be tolerated. The only thing I would say is that if we're going to discuss the facts surrounding January 6th, let's discuss them all, including what happened to the National Guard troops that were authorized by President Trump on January 4th.
And now our viewers have had the benefit of hearing your views in the back and forth, so we appreciate that. Congressman Donalds, your first time on the beat. I hope you'll come back.